world that never stops talking, some people choose to listen. In a world where every thought, every moment is broadcasted for everyone to see, some choose silence. Why? Why do some people refuse to post, refuse to be seen, refuse to join the endless scroll of the digital crowd? Today, we explore the philosophy of silence and why the quiet ones may be the wisest of all. While the world is loud, filled with notifications, trending posts, and endless content, some individuals step back. Not because they are disconnected or shy, but because they understand the value of presence over performance. They choose to exist quietly, to observe, to reflect, and to live life in a way that is deeply personal and profoundly real. Silence in a noisy world is not absence. It is a conscious decision. It is a form of resistance against the constant demand for attention. It is choosing depth over breadth, authenticity over validation, and inner peace over superficial engagement. And it is this choice that defines their philosophy of life. Every day, billions of posts, stories, reels, and tweets compete for your attention. Social media promises connection, recognition, and validation. But in reality, it often delivers chaos, distraction, and comparison. Every scroll whispers, "You are missing out. You are not enough. You are invisible." The digital world is loud, and we are drowning in it. Some people understand this. They notice the subtle anxiety that comes from constant exposure, the restlessness that grows from endless comparison. They see the illusion of happiness created by curated feeds, and they choose to step away, to find clarity in quietness. The act of not posting is deliberate. It is not ignorance. It is intentional living. They understand that likes do not measure joy, comments do not measure connection, and followers do not define value. In the midst of the digital storm, they anchor themselves in silence, reclaiming their mental and emotional space. Silence, in this context, is not withdrawal. It is awareness. It is observation without judgment. It is understanding that the world will continue to shout, trends will rise and fall, but inner peace is something that must be protected, nurtured, and cultivated. Some step back to observe. Some step back to reflect. Some step back to reclaim their own space. Silence is not emptiness. It is sanctuary. A space where emotions are allowed to flow, where reflection is not interrupted, where life is felt and not performed. Imagine a mind uncluttered by notifications. Imagine a day lived for yourself, not for an audience. Imagine joy that is deeply felt, sorrow that is private, yet healing. In silence, there is authenticity. There is presence. Life is no longer about performance. It is about living fully, feeling deeply, and understanding oneself without distraction. For some, a quiet morning, a journal, a book, a walk in nature. These are treasures more valuable than 1,000 likes. They understand that the most meaningful moments do not need witnesses. They are sacred because they are experienced, not displayed. Silence as sanctuary. Emotions allowed to flow. Reflection uninterrupted. Life felt, not performed. Mind uncluttered by notifications. Day lived for yourself, not an audience. Joy deeply felt. Sorrow private yet healing. Authenticity in silence. Presence over performance. Treasures experienced, not displayed. Remaining silent in a world obsessed with visibility requires courage. Many misunderstand it. They see those who do not post or share as antisocial, shy, or disconnected. But in truth, silence is strength. It is the courage to resist societal pressure. Choosing not to post is choosing self-awareness over approval. It is choosing depth over superficial connections. presence over performance. It is reclaiming personal time, mental clarity, and emotional freedom. They connect more deeply with a few things, rather than superficially with many. They experience real conversations, real emotions, and real moments, away from the digital spotlight. Courage, in this context, is subtle yet profound. It is not loud or visible. It is quiet, deliberate, and intentional. It is the quiet rebellion of choosing life over performance, presence over approval, and authenticity over perception. And in this silence, they often become more aware, more compassionate, and more grounded. They notice things that others miss, the small beauty in everyday life, the subtle emotions of those around them, the depth of their own thoughts. They find richness where others see emptiness. Constant engagement on social media comes at a cost. The chase for likes, shares, and comments generates anxiety, comparison, and self-doubt. We become performers, curating life to meet the expectations of others. Every post is a test. Every notification is a judgment. Some recognize this and choose to step back. They unplug, not to hide, but to heal. Not to avoid, but to reclaim clarity. They prioritize mental and emotional health over digital recognition. They protect their time and attention, understanding that inner peace cannot coexist with constant exposure to the noise of the online world. In silence, they find a different kind of connection, a connection with themselves, with nature, and with the people around them. They experience emotions deeply, without the need to broadcast them. They find presence in moments, rather than performance in posts. And in doing so, they reclaim the life that social media often fragments. Silence becomes not just a choice, but a necessity, a means of self-preservation and emotional growth. It allows reflection, clarity, and healing. It is a return to authenticity in a world that equates visibility with value. Silence is not absence. It is existence. Not invisibility, but authenticity. It is a conscious statement. I exist beyond the gaze of others. I exist on my own terms. It is freedom from the expectation to perform, from the endless cycle of comparison, from the pressure to validate life through external approval. Those who embrace silence show us that life does not need to be broadcast to have meaning. The quiet moments, the unshared victories, the unseen joys, these are the moments that shape us most profoundly. They teach us that our value is not determined by the attention of others, but by our own presence, awareness, and integrity. So next time you find yourself scrolling endlessly through feeds and notifications, remember, silence is not absence. Some are simply living, breathing, thinking deeply, choosing their own story, not one dictated by trends, algorithms, or fleeting attention. Choosing reflection over reaction, choosing depth over distraction. The philosophy of silence is not the absence of life. It is the presence of it, unfiltered, unshared, and profoundly real. And perhaps, if we dare to embrace even a little silence ourselves, we may discover a depth of life, peace, and clarity that the world will never be able to give us through noise or attention. Silence is a choice, a sanctuary, a philosophy, a way to live fully, quietly, and intentionally in a world that never stops talking. If this video touched your heart, if these words brought you even a moment of peace, then consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. Not for visibility, but to spread stillness in a world full of noise. Because sometimes, the quietest messages are the ones that change us the most.